All right, y'all. Shortly after the launch of fall products, I had a pop-up code that showed up for me for 15% off. Then the candles went on sale for $14.95, and I was like, let's do the math on that. Should I snag some candles? And of course, I did. I have all 6 of the online exclusive new fall releases. Some of them, all of them, are re-releases, but new to me, which is super exciting. I'm going to unbox them, give you cold impression, and do a first burn and show you some footage, talk about scent notes on warm, strength, and throw. So this is a full lit review of the 6 Fall 1 online exclusive 3-wick candles from Bath & Body Works. My name is Tracy. This is the 3-wick Thesis candle channel. All right, let me get into this box. Some of these y'all are already telling me are phenomenal fragrances, and I am really excited to dig in. All right, I am just going to grab out of here. I do know one of these is going to be Into the Night because that's also an online exclusive. I wanted to pick that up because why not? Let me just go ahead real quick and do the math for us. So $14.95 was the sale price on these, and then I got them for 15% off. So they come up to $12.70. That's not the best deal. Actually, as I'm recording, there's a 2-day sale on these. Made them $12.95. I think it was $12.95. If you had a 20% off coupon, that would have been even better. But I wanted to get these and get them reviewed as soon as possible, so I didn't wait. This one is Cider Lane. And this is the one that y'all have told me is delicious and that I had to try it. Really love the color of the red wax. The lid is also really pretty. It says Bath & Body Works and has some fall leaves on it. Wicks on this are thin, stiff, ropey wicks. And scent notes on Cider Lane are warm caramel, Granny Smith apples, dark brown sugar, and ground clove. I love clove. This is delicious. It smells almost exactly like a Goose Creek candle I tried last year. Actually, the label looked a lot like this. I think it was like Welcome Home. But I think Welcome Home is like, I forget, I think that's a particular label that they changed the scent fragrance of it every year. Last year's there was an orange one and a red one. Let's see if I can find a picture and put it up here if I can. I don't remember what it was called, but it smelled just like this. Very beautiful. You have nice, juicy, sweet apple with a hint of tartness. I definitely get some sweetness, but that caramel note in here is not overpowering. That's probably why they're referring to it as warm. It's a little bit subtle and just kind of rounds out the edges of the tartness of the apple and helps to really amplify the sweetness of the fruit. I do get a little bit of brown sugar. It feels like a hint of molasses, and the clove is not strong enough in this for me. I can smell it, but this smells more apple dominant and I'm craving more clove. So if you aren't a clove fan, you might still give this one a try. At Cider Lane. This one is Fall Farmhouse. There we go. There's the label on that one. Really pretty. You got some leaves. What is this? Some sort of wheat. It almost looks like a milk jug over here. I don't know if that's what that's supposed to be. Same lid. This is green wax with, these are a little bit thicker, but not ropey, but still kind of medium ropey wicks. Scent notes on this one are spiced pumpkin, forest pine branch, and fresh fall air. It's weird. I think I like it. Yeah, so it has like, there's like a pumpkin note in here that reads a little bit, it almost reads like dry cinnamon bark to me. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be, but it's very subtle. Pumpkin to me, whenever someone says there's something pumpkin in there, I really think it's just pumpkin spice. And since it says spiced pumpkin, I assume that's what I'm picking up on. But it feels like a dry cinnamon bark. The pine note is really nice. It's very sharp and bright for a pine. It's not like eucalyptus sharp and bright, but pretty close. And then I'm not sure what fresh fall air is. Yeah, it just smells very clean, very crisp, and warm at the same time. And I think that's why my brain is struggling to wrap around, like, what am I smelling right now? Because it feels like a good combination of really fresh, sharp fragrances with really deep, warm fragrances. And I'm struggling to make sense of it all. So that's Fall Farmhouse. I like it. It's just hard to compute. This one is Praline Delight, and it looks like they taped this box for some reason. Hopefully that doesn't mean that it's broken. It's definitely well packaged. There are a lot of candles in this little tiny box, and I like that each one is wrapped, which sometimes they just toss them in there, but this seems like somebody took some care. Yeah, it looks fine. Praline Delight. So this one you've got really dark brown wax color. The front has acorns on it, which I really like. Looks like some oak leaves. Same lid. And these are core wicks on this one. Scent notes are roasted pecans, brown sugar, and creamy caramel. Ooh, that's really nice. Oh, I like that a lot. This smells almost exactly like the filling of a pecan pie. You get the pecan note. It's very nutty and deep and earthy. And then you get the caramel, which is pretty high on the bitterness scale. It smells almost like a burnt caramel, but I like it. It also is kind of ooey gooey at the same time. And that brown sugar is adding both a sweetness and this really deep richness, almost like a brown sugar, like simple syrup. Very fall. Wow, this would be incredible around Thanksgiving. I need another one of these. I would burn this nonstop in November. I mean, it's good anytime, but that is just absolutely gorgeous. And I don't know if you've ever made a pecan pie, but if you have, this smells just like the filling that you put in the pie crust. So, delicious. I actually kind of like that it doesn't have the pie note in it. Beautiful. Happy with that one. This one's my Into the Night, so I'm just going to set that aside. Not important to this lit review episode. This one is Fall Festival. This was another one that y'all said you really liked and you were happy to see return. Again, these are all new to me, so I have no idea what I'm getting into. Really pretty label on this one too. You've got some sunflowers and a little wagon wheel. Feels very country. Beautiful blue wax. Same lid. And this one is thin, stiff, ropey wicks. Scent notes are fresh pumpkin, spiced cinnamon, sweet maple almond butter. Ooh, that spiced cinnamon is strong. Yeah, that's pretty much all I'm getting. It is feels like a perfect blend of like a spicy hot cinnamon and a baking cinnamon. You get a little bit of each. Yeah, I'm not getting anything else. However, I will say that with cinnamon, usually on cold, it's super strong, and on warm, it tones way down. So I have a feeling when I burn this one, it's going to evolve, and I'm hoping some of that maple almond butter comes out, because I love maple, I love almond, I love butter. I want more of it. I can get like a hint of the almond on cold, but it reads more like an almond marzipan than it does an almond butter to me. And I don't know, what does fresh pumpkin smell like? It's just squash. It's lost by the spice. We'll see. We'll see how that one evolves. Pumpkin Vanilla Crème is next. This one sounds divine. Sounds like a really good gourmand. This might be the one I was most excited for. It's creamy pumpkin, vanilla crème, fresh ground nutmeg, and graham cracker crust, although I will say I'm not always a fan of Bath & Body Works graham cracker scent note. Oh, but this is so good. Oh my goodness, this is delicious. Oh, I could eat this. Okay. Graham cracker crust. And to me, this smells like, you know how you could get different flavored graham cracker? You can get like the classic one, and then there's the one with the cinnamon on it. I feel like this smells like the cinnamon graham cracker. That vanilla creme is super nice, and they're calling it creamy pumpkin, but it almost just reads like a vanilla pudding to me. Yeah, this reads like you made like a vanilla cream pie. You've got the graham cracker crust, and you've got vanilla, creamy, thick vanilla pudding on top, and you're eating the two together. I love it. I cannot wait to see how this burns. I am getting the nutmeg too. Yeah, the nutmeg actually is pretty strong in here. I find that to be a little bit refreshing. I feel like nutmeg often gets lost in the wayside next to things like cinnamon and clove. So that's really nice. Pumpkin vanilla creme. Got the nice little milk pitcher here, the white pumpkins, and then it's more of a kind of beige peachy cream color. This one has kind of medium stiff ropey wicks, and then it's the same lid as the rest of the collection. And the last one we have in here is Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin. You know, I think I may have seen this one. Was this out last year? I may have smelled this one before. I haven't burned it though. It sounds really familiar to me. Oh, I really love the picture on this too. This one has the orange pumpkins with the cute little cinnamon sticks, and you've got some leaves. Very vibrant, orangish red colored wax. Same lid. And then this is thin, stiff, ropey wicks. Scent notes are warm cinnamon, fresh ground clove, vanilla cream, and brown sugar. Oh, this is really nice. This reminds me a lot, if you have bought Fall from Goose Creek, this reminds me a little bit, very close, of their Finally Fall fragrance. That clove note that's in here. So the spice is turned way up on this one. I'm getting clove first, which I absolutely love. Then next, I'm getting cinnamon. I expect both of those to be toned down on warm. On cold, I feel like that vanilla cream is just adding this really nice smoothness that helps to round out some of the sharpness of those spices. It just feels very well balanced and mellow. I don't get a strong sense of the brown sugar. There's like a hint of maybe a molasses kind of hiding behind the clove that's in here, but for the most part, this just smells like vanilla and spice. Hoping that it kind of tones down the spice and amps up the sweetness and the vanilla a little bit more on warm, but even then, I like what I'm smelling on cold. So let me rank those for you from 1 to 6. Ooh, the first 3 are going to be tricky. Okay. Okay. It's hard sometimes, y'all. Number 6, that's just because I'm not a huge apple fan. I'm going to put it on the Cider Lane. I like it. It's pleasant for what it is, but it also feels a lot like every other cider candle that I've ever smelled, and it reminds me a lot of 2 different ones I burned last year from Goose Creek, so it just doesn't excite me. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with it. It's a beautiful cider fragrance. We'll see how it changes on warm, but for right now, I'm putting it in 6th place for this collection. In 5th place, I'm doing the Fall Festival, and I don't know. I really hope that maple note comes through or the almond comes out more. I think for me, that's what I'm craving. I want more complexity with this one. However, bonus for the label and the wax color. Number 3 and 4 are a little bit tricky. I'm going to go with the one that feels more familiar as number 4, and that is the Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin. I really love this one. Again, it reminds me a lot of a Goose Creek one I've already had. It's special in that that clove is really heavy, and I feel like that's rare in candles, but it also doesn't feel that unique or like surprising to me. It's very, very beautiful, and I would put it 3rd. However, this one has my brain doing some complicated math, which makes me really like it because it's confusing to me, and that's the Fall Farmhouse. Something about the pine in here with the spiced pumpkin and the fresh fall air, I can't compute those crisp and warm notes together, and I kind of like it on cold, so that gave that one some bonus points. Number 2, Pumpkin Vanilla Crème. This is just a beautiful, kind of light gourmand. I love how the graham cracker note in this plays on the vanilla cream. And number 1, no question, without a doubt, Praline Delight. This had no competition among these other ones. Love it. Smells just like pecan pie filling. I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to go light this up, and I'm going to take some footage for you Take notes on strength, throw, and how it evolves on warm, and I will be right back after the cut to share with you my findings. Okay, y'all, I've spent some time with these candles. I have to tell you, I really like all 6. I have no complaints. I recommend all of them. But to help you make some decisions based off of how I feel about the candles, I am still going to rank them. I will say the ranking towards the end was a little bit different. I feel like the first few are 100% confident those belong at the top, but the last 3 were kind of a toss-up, and I might argue 3 and 4 were a toss-up. Okay, I'm just going to start with number 6, and I like this candle. It just didn't compare to the others, and that is the Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin. First of all, good quality. This thing's a beast. Very good strength, very good throw. For me, it just was a little bit boring. It is a classic harvest spice candle. I feel like it's both warm and spicy. You get some warmth from, I'm guessing it's the vanilla cream and the brown sugar, and then you get some spiciness from the cinnamon and the clove that's in here. It's a well-balanced combination. I like it. I will say that given vanilla and brown sugar, I was expecting a little bit more sweetness. I feel like this is spice forward for sure. And the cinnamon in this it's pretty hot. It feels almost like a red hot candy. So the way that the warm and spicy play off of each other, it almost smells like those red hot candies. Not like the jellies, but these. So you get this sense of like a sweetness, but you also get the really spiciness. I don't know. It's a good candle. It's not bad. I just felt like maybe a little bit one-dimensional. I wanted something more, a little more complex. So I'm putting that one in 6th, but still happy to have it, still like it. Number 5, I feel the exact same way about. Beautiful fragrance. Absolutely love it. I'm actually going to pair this. I already have ideas of what I'm going to pair this with, but also feels a little bit too simple for me. So this one, unlike the Beast Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin, this one's a lighter one. It had, I would say, light to medium strength, not super strong. I would say barely average. It did have good throw, however. I feel like it filled the room, which, by the way, if you're new here, my testing space is a converted single-car garage. No windows, door sealed, so you don't get much air circulation or like things that would disrupt scent throwing. So good throw, but in terms of strength, I just wanted more. It is a very milky, very creamy, not surprising. It's literally called vanilla cream, and it has vanilla cream note in it. I feel like that graham cracker note really gets lost on warm. I ended up just smelling basically milk and pumpkin spice, and this reminds me a lot of pumpkin spice latte, but without the bitter coffee note. So if you like that one, you would like this one. However, I want coffee with it because it smells just like that one, so I plan on pairing this with coffee candles. And I think it would be a nice companion to coffee candles, because coffee candles tend to be really strong and kind of super bitter. This would help warm it up a little bit, but not overpower it, and would give me the sort of coffee latte balance I look for in candles that are coffee based. Whereas I feel like coffee based candles like the pumpkin spice latte from Bath and Body Works tends to be very milk forward. So I think this will pair nicely with coffee candles. I also think you could pair this with Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin and add a spicy note, and this would just help to soften it up a little bit. So I think this is going to be more of a companion candle for me. Okay, number 4 is Fall Festival. Again, I like this one quite a bit. My main concern about this one is that I'm craving more of that almond note, the sweet maple, and maybe I should say I'm craving more maple. I feel like the almond comes through on this on warm. It's still not as strong as I would expect it to be or that I would like. It smells about how I would expect, given that it has spiced pumpkin and almond butter. It reads a little bit like a cinnamon roll to me. You get a nice blend of sweetness from the maple almond butter, and then you get some spicy hot from the cinnamon. The fresh pumpkin, I think, if it's not spice, it just adds some sort of smoothness or creaminess. I don't get a sense of actual pumpkin smell in this. That pairs nicely with the almond creaminess that's in here. In general, I feel like this was a powerhouse. It had good strength. It had good throw. It filled the space. However, it was also a very slow burn, so it took some time to fill out the space and become strong. I think I had this lit for, I want to say almost 4 hours when I took this burn footage, which normally I burn my candles for maybe 2 hours, 3 hours max. This one was really slow to come to full pool and really to fill the space. So if you have patience, this is a good one. I will say that unlike other cinnamon candles I burn, the cinnamon on this one didn't tone down very much. It kind of stayed as strong as it did on cold. However, the almond ramped up a little bit. So what I was expecting was the cinnamon to tone down, the almond to ramp up and it to be a little more balanced. Instead, the cinnamon stayed the same, the almond ramped up. It's still beautiful, just not exactly what I was looking for in terms of balance. So that is Fall Festival. Coming from 6th place to 3rd is Cider Lane. And while I don't like apple candles, I can understand why this is a fan favorite. This candle on warm smells exactly like apple cider. On cold, I feel like it smells like apple and cinnamon. But when it's warm, and I grew up in Michigan, we have a lot of apple orchards. I think Michigan might be like the #2 state in the country for growing apples after, I think, Washington. So we always had apple orchards everywhere. There were places you could go to pick apples. They always had fresh apple cider you could buy. And you would like drink it while you were there. If you were lucky, your parents would buy a gallon and you'd have it at home. This, when warm, took me right back to that orchard. I get this sense of like super ripe apples. So you almost get this vibe of like the apples that have fallen off the tree and you're drinking apple cider at the same time. I don't know how they did it. It is phenomenal. It is absolutely gorgeous. Again, I don't like apple fragrances. I mean, I don't despise them, but they're just not my thing. I find them to be a little bit boring and a little bit offensive to my nose sometimes, the sort of sharp sweetness or tart sweetness that you get from an apple. But this is gorgeous. It smells just like drinking apple cider at an orchard. So I really liked this one, enjoyed it a lot. Highly recommend it if you like apple fragrances, and in particular if you like cider. The strength on this one for me was medium. I was expecting it to be a little bit stronger, but it was medium and it had really good throw. It did fill out the space. So just very beautiful and complex. I definitely recommend this for y'all. Number 2, the one I'm still struggling to understand, is Fall Farmhouse. This one still confuses my brain. When it's lit, it is both warm and crisp. I get warmth from what I assume is the spiced pumpkin, and then I get this really crisp air feeling from the fresh fall air, and then you get this sharpness from the pine. So it's both warm, sharp, and crisp. It feels like you mixed a pumpkin spice candle or like white pumpkin with Lakeside Morning with Tree Farm. It's just like this really interesting blend, and I'm realizing this would make an excellent transitional fragrance from fall to winter. So I'm going to put this actually in my November rotation, which is late fall, of course. But not only does the color kind of feel transitional, the fragrance feels transitional. Beautiful. Reads a little bit creamy. I feel like it's very comforting, and the strength and throw were both good. I will say that with the throw, it kind of just hovered around the candle. It didn't quite make it all the way to fill up the space. Maybe if I'd burned it longer, I don't know, it came to full wax pool, so I don't know. But I was hoping for a little bit more throw, and I would have expected with a candle with pine in it and the fresh fall air to be kind of a beast. And for me, it was kind of just average. Still recommend it though. Really enjoy it. That one's unique. It's probably one of the most unique fall fragrances I've smelled in the past year. Number 1, no question, Praline Delight. This is absolutely delicious. This is a warm, gourmand, sweet but not cloyingly sweet pecan pie filling. You don't get a crust note. It's literally just the filling. It is nutty. There's like a caramel butter sense to it, not only from the creamy caramel, but I feel like that brown sugar really amplifies the caramel note, and then it just reads kind of ooey gooey and buttery at the same time. It had really good throw. The strength, I would say, was medium on this. I don't think it's a powerhouse. It's not going to be headache inducing. It's not going to be nauseating from being too strong and too sweet. I just feel like it is like the perfect gourmand fragrance, and definitely going to add this to my November rotation because it literally reminds me of pecan pies I used to make for the Thanksgiving holiday. I'm going to buy a backup of this one because it is so special. So I highly recommend this one for you as well, especially if you like gourmandy candles that speak to like fall gourmand vibes. All right, y'all, that is my ranking of these 6 online exclusive candles from Bath & Body Works. I hope that my lit review gave you some insight into what these are going to smell like so you can better predict which ones you want to add to your cart. If you have any questions about any of these, feel free to pop them in the comments below. I'll answer them to the best of my ability, or some of my viewers might be able to answer them better than me. I love building community with you all, so please don't shy away from leaving me a comment below. If you appreciated this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed. If you feel like I saved you a few dollars with my review and you want to pass that along to support my channel, super thanks are always appreciated. And just know that I never expect them. So they're just appreciated, never required. I will see you again tomorrow in my next video. Until then, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.